Welcome to part 2 of Ref Do Something. Play number 1, clean block or shooting foul. Watch teal number 15 challenge red number 11 at the rim. The comments were divided. One viewer called it a clean block, followed by incidental contact. Another argued that the shooter remains airborne until he returns to the floor, making this a 2-shot foul. That second statement is partly correct. Under NFHS rules, an airborne shooter remains a shooter until 1 foot returns to the floor. Therefore, illegal contact after the ball is released can still result in free throws. But that does not mean every bit of contact with an airborne shooter is automatically a foul. Teal number 15 makes clean contact with the basketball before the players make body contact. The defender does have some A to B movement, so this is not perfect verticality. A clean block also does not give a defender permission to make illegal contact afterward. However, the subsequent body contact appears incidental. It does not create enough additional displacement or disadvantage to require a whistle under NFHS Rule 4, Section 27. The ruling, clean block and a no call. Good defense, but the defender's forward movement makes this much closer than it initially appears. Are you calling the foul or letting them play? Play number 2, traveling or held ball. Watch the ball handler in black as he ends his dribble and attempts to finish through the defense. Several viewers call this a held ball because white number 24 gets a hand onto the basketball. But another viewer argued that the traveling violation occurs first. Let's slow it down. The ball handler ends his dribble with his right foot touching the floor. Under NFHS rules, that right foot becomes his pivot foot when the left foot touches. He legally steps onto his left foot and may lift the right pivot foot to pass or shoot. However, the right foot returns to the floor before he releases the basketball. NFHS Rule 4, Section 44, states that a player may lift the pivot foot for a pass or try, but it may not return to the floor before the ball is released. The defender touching the basketball does not automatically create a held ball. Under NFHS Rule 4, Section 25, the opponents must have their hands on the ball so firmly that control cannot be obtained without undue roughness, or the defender must prevent an airborne player from releasing the ball before that player returns to the floor. That does not happen before the pivot foot returns. The ruling, traveling on the player in black. The violation occurs before a held ball can be established. Do you have traveling, a held ball, or a legal play? Play number 3, traveling violation or defensive foul. Watch green number 51 receive the pass while red number 8 trails the play. Most viewers counted 4 steps and immediately called traveling. Others noticed the defender's hand on the ball handler's back and believed the foul occurred first. Let's slow it down. Green number 51 secures the basketball and begins moving toward the basket. Now watch red number 8's right hand. The defender places his hand on the ball handler's back and keeps it there as the play continues. Under NFHS Rule 10, Section 7, Article 12, placing and keeping a hand on a ball handler or repeatedly contacting the ball handler is a personal foul. A brief incidental touch would not automatically require a whistle. Here, however, the contact is sustained and occurs before green number 51 completes the illegal foot movement. The ball handler does eventually exceed the permitted pivot foot limits, but officials must penalize the first illegal action, and the defensive foul happens before the traveling violation. The ruling, a personal foul on red number 8. Once that foul occurs, the ball becomes dead, so the later steps are not penalized as traveling. If the defender had avoided the sustained contact, then we would have a traveling violation. Which did you see first, the push or the travel? Play number 4, backcourt violation or legal dribble. Watch the ball handler as she crosses the division line. Some viewers called this an obvious over and back because she touched the ball near the front court and then touched it again in the backcourt. Others argued that she never established control in the front court. But control is not the real issue here. She is controlling a dribble. The key is determining when the ball gains front court status. Under NFHS Rule 4, Section 4, Article 6, during a dribble from the backcourt into the front court, 3 points must touch entirely in the front court, both of the dribbler's feet and the basketball. She begins crossing the line, but the ball remains in the backcourt while her feet are transitioning. Because all 3 points have not yet touched in the front court, the ball still has backcourt status. The division line is also considered part of the backcourt. Therefore, when she continues the dribble, she has not returned the ball from the front court to the backcourt. Her team never completed the transition into the front court. The ruling. Legal play. No backcourt violation. Once both feet and the ball have touched entirely in the front court, she cannot be the last player to touch it there and the first to touch it in the backcourt. But that never happens on this play. Did the 3 points rule change your call? Before we get to the next play, let's take a quick recovery timeout. This isn't a paid sponsorship, but recovery is a major part of staying ready as an official. The HyperIce Normatec Elite boots use dynamic air compression to massage your legs, promote circulation, and help reduce that heavy, fatigued feeling after games, running, and training. For our 5th and final play, player control foul or defensive blocking foul. Watch the defender in black before the ball handler changes direction. The comments were nearly divided down the middle. Some viewers said the ball handler lowered her shoulder and created the contact. Others argued that the defender never established legal guarding position. Let's slow it down. The defender gets both feet onto the court with her torso facing the ball handler. That establishes initial legal guarding position under NFHS Rule 4, Section 23. After establishing legal guarding position, a defender does not have to remain stationary. She may move laterally or backward to maintain her position. The defender moves laterally with the play and remains in the ball handler's path. The player in purple then lowers her shoulder and drives through the defender's torso, creating significant displacement. The defender's fall does not determine the ruling. The important questions are whether she established legal guarding position and who caused the contact. The ruling: a player control foul on the ball handler in purple. No free throws are awarded, even if the defense is in the bonus and the team in black receives the ball for a throw-in. That completes part 2 of Ref Do Something. How many of these 5 plays did you get right? Drop your score out of 5 in the comments. Subscribe to Offlete and come back for part 3.